Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Jay's Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and we're going to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays rumors today, or at least Major League Baseball trade rumors, because there's no baseball until tomorrow evening. So here we are to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball and how this team could potentially be improving here at the trade deadline. And wow, is there a lot of crazy rumors and stuff going around. Today we're going to focus on pretty much one team, and that is the Toronto Blue Jays are possibly paired up with the Minnesota Twins in trades. A lot more rumors have been coming as the Blue Jays have been obviously looking for pitching, both in and out of the bullpen and the starting rotation, along with bats. But today, let's just talk the why the Minnesota Twins are in or out and could be sellers or not. So, the Minnesota Twins are currently sitting at a 47-49 record for the season. That is not a bad record, and they're only 4 games out of the wild card, but they are 11 behind the Detroit Tigers, who are running away with the show. So that being said, it's one of those things. It's okay, great, they're on a tipping point. When the Blue Jays were good in 2015, we were at that pretty much exact same record to start the trade deadline. And then obviously the David Prices, the Tulos, and Ben Revere's and everybody joined this team and really pushed all the chips into the table. I don't know if the Twins are in the same area as that, but they have been obviously trying to find a way to improve that team on the field as they are, but cannot get over the hurdle. So the biggest question is that record enough for them to push their chips into the table and get some more pieces and buy? Or is it going to be enough to just go sell and get rid of some of the guys that they know they have control of and get some giant piles of prospects back to help a farm system that is in the middle of the average ballpark for the level of players that they got going on? Obviously, the draft just settled, but we don't have exact ranks to how MLB is ranking all those minor league systems right now for anybody. JoJo is automatically all of a sudden in our top 10 prospects, for example. Anyways, so the one that would be the biggest get from the Minnesota Twins would be getting 3 years of control, 2 more after this season, of Jhoan Duran. Nothing short of ridiculous would be the best way of saying that. He's got a 2.2 WAR, 5-4 record, 1.66 ERA with 15 saves. And oh, did I mention he just throws the ball like 100 something miles an hour all the time? He is on the list of top MLB arms that have went over 100 miles an hour this year, and I believe it said he did it like 147 times or something like that. And there's only Mason Miller and a couple of others that have been consistent to that fact in Major League Baseball this season. So it would be very intriguing to get a closer out of that whole thing with a guy that's got 73 saves over the last 4 seasons, and has averaged around 62 innings, 63-ish or so. So strikeouts gone wild too, by the way. He's closing in on his 300th career strikeout as a closer, which is nothing short of impressive. The biggest question what would we have to give up to get Jhoan Duran? Because if you trade for Jhoan Duran, you are 100 billion times percent sending somebody really high-ended, regardless of the fact that he's making $4 million on our first arbitration this year. Not a lot of great comps. The closest ones that we can find were like us getting Jordan Hicks from the Giants. Some really stupid ones like that. Not even on the same level. Duran would be having to trade one of your top prospects. You make the argument that Trey Savage is good, and he's going to be the guy that would probably be a cornerstone for this trade, as much as the Blue Jays do not want to trade Trey Savage. But I think that's going to be the caliber of player that's going to have to go back. But if you're going to get 2 more seasons of control out of Jhoan Duran, do it. Was one of the best closers in baseball. Him and Jeff Hoffman at the back of this bullpen would be unstoppable. Especially in those days where Duran just pitched, or vice versa with Hoffman. This would be an insane get if they were able to do that. And like I said, for a bullpen thing for playoffs, even better. Let's say we're not going to reach as high. Griffin Jax has been a heck of an arm in that bullpen for 5 years for the Minnesota Twins. He has currently got 2 more years of control, just like his buddy Jhoan Duran. Griffin Jax has been a stability force in that bullpen. Last year had a 5-5 record with a 2.3 ERA in 71 innings. He is on pace to match that this year. A little higher on the ERA right now, but the rest of the numbers line up with his last season. So you're going to trade for somebody and try to get something a little bit more, I'll say, palatable in prospect capital. Griffin Jax might be that guy, and still would greatly help this team get to that next step, because the Blue Jays do need something happening in their bullpen. And I didn't even mention this, but we still have Jimmy Garcia hopefully coming back healthy at some point. So could be really cool to get that kind of a thing going. We'll see what happens, but Griffin Jax could be the more appropriate of those two to be shopping and grabbing from the Minnesota Twins. So we got baseball back tomorrow evening. The Jays will be playing the Giants in the Sky Dome, and we will be kicking things off with Chris Bassett, and it sounds like Justin Verlander. So we'll see what happens, but that sounds to be the matchup for tomorrow evening. We'll get something more official, obviously, the next day here, and we'll go from there. But that is going to be a fun way to start things off at the Rogers Center and kick things into gear for the rest of this playoff push. So, Blue Jays fans, make sure you check us out right here every day at Jays Latest. Hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. We'll have all the glorious rumors and news here for you to talk to, and we'll talk then. Cheers. Have a great day, everybody.